Alright, hey guys, what's up? 8 Brian here, and I am back again with my flea market and thrift store finds for the month of October. So I got a lot of stuff from last month that I found, some finds from RetroCon, and probably some stuff that I couldn't even locate that I found last month. So it was definitely a big month and a good month for thrift stores and flea markets overall. So without any further ado, let's get into it and see what I picked up. Alright, so we'll start off, I guess, with miscellaneous, as usual. And I got, let's see here. I'll start off with some audio miscellaneous finds. And one of my more interesting finds over the course of the month was an 8-track. And I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan, as a lot of you guys know. And I found a pretty uncommon 8-track cartridge. It's Pink Floyd Umaguma, and I think I paid $7 or $8 for that, which isn't bad. I've only seen one on eBay go for like $15, so it's very rare to see any Pink Floyd 8-tracks at all. So that was a good find. And I got a couple of records, all for $1 a piece at a local Goodwill. I found Wham! Make It Big. I don't know why I picked this up. I guess Wake Me Up Before You Go goes on here, so I'm not really a huge Wham fan, but you know, thought it was kind of neat. This Red Fox at Home. This is like a comedy album. Pretty cool. And Cyndi Lauper, She's So Unusual. So this was awesome. Gotta love that cover. Very cool. Always been a big Cyndi Lauper fan. Great stuff. And I also found, I think I paid $0.25 at this. There's a for this. There's a Goodwill store where they have bins and you can buy stuff by like the pound. And I found this cool Crisscross Jump single cassette. So you know, I don't know if you guys remember them, but Crisscross, they were a couple of kids that they wore all their clothes backwards and they did hip hop music and stuff like that. And one of their big singles was Jump, which you can find on iTunes. And this goes for like, you know, give or take like $20, $15 online. It's, you know, now it's collectibles. That's pretty neat. I also found a couple of weeks ago, these were $1 a piece. I found some good Silver Age comics. I'm a big comics fan, as you guys are well aware of. And these are adventure comics. So these were mainly featuring Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. These are from the 60s. You got number 323. And they're in decent shape. Most of these are good to good plus grade. Some of them are like a very good grade. A few are in like a poor grade, but they're, you know, not terrible. Most of them had their staples still intact and the covers were still attached. So for $1, that's a good find. And then even two, these are all 12 centers too, by the way. And then even two 12-cent Supermans. Number 175, where Lex Luthor in another universe was Clark Kent's brother. And Superman and the Legion of Assassins. This is number 188. So all of those for $1 is a really, really good deal. And I also found for $5 a deck of WWF playing cards. And these are really neat. They got all of the they got the WWF logo on the back. And you got Hulk Hogan, like Ace of Diamonds, British Bulldog, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and of course we have, as the Queen, she's the Queen in all the decks, you got Miss Elizabeth, and you got the like the King, which would only make sense, King and Queen, Macho Man, Randy Savage. So these are really neat. These are very, very cool. And also some other neat little miscellaneous pickups that I found here. These actually I got for free from my buddy Dan. They're these cool little, I guess they were arts and crafts things from back in the 80s. And they look like they're, well, they'd be from The Empire Strikes Back, I guess. But they're these little Star Wars hand-painted ceramic figurines. And you got Obi-Wan. And you got Luke in his Jedi Knight garb. And we have a little Yoda. So I don't think they're really worth anything, but they're just kind of neat. Like, it's neat to think somebody like poured clay and like maybe made these or whoever they were made. They're really cool. Also miscellaneous. I found this. Got this for $1. This is a great, great, great find. If you guys know, let's see, Harvey Picar. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but if you ever saw the awesome movie Lost in Translation, with I think oh wait, no, I'm sorry, Lost in Translation. Listen to me. American Splendor. I don't know if Bill Murray was in that or not. I might be misplacing people. I know he was in Lost in Translation, but for some reason I thought he was in American Splendor. I don't know why I'm getting that confused. Anyway, I found an original American Splendor magazine or magazine comic, whatever you want to call it, and these are really, really super rare to come by, and it's probably worth about a good 20 to 30 bucks. And I actually saw a copy of a Crumb magazine too this past month, but I didn't pick it up because they wanted too much for it, and I think I kind of showed some interest in it, and then I heard the guys at the flea market talking, and like, I think they kept it and didn't even sell it, and I was like, you know, it's like, you could have just sold it for $4, and they're just like, ooh, this is probably worth a whole ton of money, and I'm like, oh man. So that's the way it goes when you're out hunting sometimes, running into jerks. Anyway, moving on with some more miscellaneous finds. I guess this kind of falls under miscellaneous, not really a toy. Again, my friend Dan let me know what these were. I didn't know what these were, and I paid $8 for their 4 pages, I think, maybe 5. Now 5 pages of cards. And these are the at the end of the line of, I think they were either the start of G2 or they were the end of G1. They were the Transformers Super God Master Force cards. And I knew they were like pretenders. I didn't know they were that, but I was just like, oh, they're so cool. Like, they're these Japanese, like, super brightly colored Transformers cards. And they're like these people that have watches, and they turn into Transformers. Like, this one dude here, I think the guy in the center, like, that's Optimus Prime. And it's like, how does that work? Like, you're a person, and then you turn into a robot? Like, that's unbelievably painful. I couldn't even, I don't know how the physics of that actually, how that actually works. But I just thought they were cool. They were just really super colorful. And they're Transformers, so I immediately gravitated towards those. Also, a few other miscellaneous type things that I found. I guess this is a toy, but kind of, sort of, maybe not. For $1, I found this really neat Masters of the Universe Magic Slate template. If you guys remember these growing up in the 80s, and you'd write stuff on there, and then you like lift up the sheet, and then whatever you write disappears, and then you can just, you know, draw like a smiley face or whatever you want on there. And you can just keep drawing on there without having any paper. And it has really good artwork with He-Man riding Battle Cat, and the Sorceress, and Merman, Orko, and Manny faces. And just really neat, really good. Like, I'm a big fan of He-Man stuff, so I thought that was really cool for $1. Just love the border and stuff. Really fun. Also miscellaneous. This is hilarious. Paid $1 for this. And this is Be a Reagan Buster Register and Vote pin. And it's showing Ronald Reagan from back in the 80s. And he's like a ghost in the Ghostbusters logo. So I thought that was absolutely hilarious. And I absolutely had to pick that up for $1. That's just too awesome. A couple more miscellaneous finds that I had. I was surprised I found 2 in 1 month. I have now a total of 3. I found 2 more Trapper Keepers to add to my collection. This one I got at the flea market for $5. It has a seal on the front. Sealed! And he's looking in the water. Yeah, pretty neat. Nothing too special on the inside. That's what Or if you've never seen a Trapper Keeper before, that's what they look like. And these were, if you don't know anything about them, you can check out my video about them. They were really cool because they kept all your folders and all your school supplies in one convenient place, and they're hard vinyl with a Velcro closure. And they had these awesome, crazy designs on them. So if you were a kid in the 80s, you had to have these. And then this one I got for, I think this was like $2 or $2.50. This is another one, but it has hot air balloons. And just really cool, nice designs. And I'm always on the lookout for these because they fetch a lot of money on eBay, and just like really unusual to come across two in the same month. I went like a whole year or 2 years without ever seeing one, and then just running across two was really random. Another really neat thing that I found, which again, this is almost in the toy category, but I had one of these growing up when I was a kid, and it looks kind of like a switchblade. But what this actually is it's a comb. You push the button and a little comb pops out. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably remembered having these as a kid too. And I think this was kind of inspired by like Happy Days, even though that was like, 20 years before. And you have a little quick flip open comb and Mr. Cool combing your hair with the switchblade comb. So that's really cool. I haven't seen one of these since I was a kid and remembered actually having mine and playing with it and thinking it was super cool growing up. Let's see. Oh yeah, other miscellaneous stuff as well. For the whole set, I think I paid $8 for them, which I think is a good deal. They go for around $20 in really super good condition. But this is the entire set of Pee-wee's Playhouse, volumes 1 through 16. Let me put it in the right order here. And as you can see, it shows like the picture of Pee-wee with the whole gang and his helmet on and the playhouse. Just really, really cool, because I remember growing up as a kid and I loved this show. And this is just neat to display. At a later date, maybe I would sell these, but I think they're just neat to just to put on a shelf and display. And you guys know I'm a big fan of VHS. And that's what it looks like on the back. So pretty cool, not something that you see all the time, definitely. And I think probably the last thing in my miscellaneous category would be another thing that I found at that local Goodwill thrift store that I go to. This is from '88, and this is the original, not a lot of the reproduction ones you see all the time, but this was the original crayon banks you used to see everybody had back in the day. And this is from the Ralph Co. Incorporated was the company that made these, and they've made a lot of repros of this over the years. But this is the first that started it all. So again, this was like a quarter, and just a really good pickup. I can pretend. Let me fill out my paperwork here with my giant crayon. Another cool find. And let's move into some video games. Found a good amount of stuff this month. For $5, I found a complete in-box copy of Racquetball for the Atari 2600, which is a pretty uncommon game because this was made by, I think, Apollo. This was an Apollo game, I believe. But it was one of their later releases, and it's fairly uncommon. Is this Apollo? I'm trying to see on here. Yes, this was Apollo. And there you can see on the back there it says Apollo, with the orange label. And I think, no, this doesn't have the manual. I do have the manual for it otherwise, but this goes for around like $15, with a nice box like that. So that's cool. And it's really neat too. It has a Lionel Kitty City logo on the front, so that's an added bonus, right? Also got some more games here. Oof. That comb popped open and it's flicking things everywhere. Bad comb. Picked up some Super Nintendo stuff. I got FIFA International Soccer for $4 at a Goodwill near me. Although I didn't really want this because I saw it under the counter and I was looking it up on eBay and I could only see that it was soccer. And I forgot that the FIFA one was made for it, and I thought it was like a really rare soccer game, and I had already told Lady to get it out from under the counter and was ready to pay for it. So I was like, I'll get it. But I mean, it's actually not a bad game, but it's just I was hoping it was something that it wasn't. This I believe I paid 15 for, maybe 10, but I think 15. This is Super Bomberman 2. And that's about a $25 to a $30 game. And this was at another local thrift store near me, and it's super fun. Almost beat it. I still got to get around to beating it, but a great fun game. I'm glad I picked that up. And at the same thrift store, I also picked up, okay, these two. Well, I guess I'll show this first. I think this was like $3. Yeah, this was $3. This was Spider-Man and X-Men Arcade's Revenge. And that's an okay game, nothing great. And then at the same thrift store, I picked up a yellow Game Boy Color. And that came with Zelda Link's Awakening DX for the Game Boy Color and Tetris, all for $20. And now the speaker on this doesn't output sound. You have to use headphones, but you can get a new speaker for like $2 or $3 off eBay, and it still works great. There's no problem with it. And the Zelda game is worth $20, by itself. So that's a great deal. A Game Boy with 2 games for $20. Can't pass that up. So that's a good find. And also some other video game related stuff. I picked up a couple of handheld titles. This is Entek's Space Invader handheld game. Not to be confused with Space Invaders. See, they took off the S, so that's not copyright infringement. And it's actually pretty decent. I played it. It's not a bad little handheld. I remember a lot of my cousins and stuff having ones like that, so that's why I'm kind of partial to them. And then another one complete in box. I think this I paid 10 for. And this also has another Lionel Kitty City tag on it, oddly enough. And this is made by Epochs. And this is called Invader from Space. So they're even more creative to avoid copyright infringement. Not, Space Invader. Now that the words are in different order and without the S, it's all good. But this actually is a really fun game to play, and it's very bright and very colorful. And I don't think I have batteries in it, or I would show it. Maybe I'll show it in another video. But it's actually a really cool little game. Very fun. And I think, two more things. That comb is driving me nuts. Stop that. Thing is really hyper. There we go. This actually has batteries in it, but I don't think you'll be able to see it. I got this off my friend Mel for $5. And this is a Radio Shack Astro Command tabletop game, like if you remember the Coleco tabletops. And this thing wasn't working at all, and I took it apart and redid the battery contacts and reconnected all the wires and stuff. And I hope you guys will be able to see it on there, the bright, colorful display with the different aliens that you can shoot. And I don't think you'll be able to see what's going on. I know I won't be able to figure out what's going on. But, like, it actually moves like a, just like a regular shoot 'em up. Like, you can move up and down the screen and shoot the Space Invaders, which I obviously died. Or this isn't Space Invaders, it's called Astro Command. So, it's more like a Defender tabletop, I guess. That's the best way to describe that. And that's really cool. I love those tabletops. I love anything Radio Shack. That's awesome. That's great. And last thing, video game wise, I believe I paid $7 for this. I have the regular Pac-Man one, and I found the Miss Pac-Man doll. You're a Winner Miss Pac-Man doll. And these were made by Knickerbocker Toys. And you can see she's got her hair and everything. So now, I got a couple, Mr. and Mrs. That's really cool, so I'm a big Atari fan. And let's see, that'll do it for video games, so let's check out some toys. First thing I'll start off with, I found a bunch of good Exo Squad stuff. I found 2 mechs. These were $5 each. And what's really cool about these is they actually have their chips in the back. I'll do a video on these guys soon, but those little things are always missing. So very surprising to find them complete like that and get them both for 10. And also this guy, Corporal, oh, I can't remember his name, Lance something or other. I found an Exo Squad figure also for $5, which is a little pricey, I guess, but you don't see the Exo Squad figures very much. Like, I've only seen them on eBay. I've never actually seen one anywhere else, so that's cool. And I have his mech that he can go in, so good find there. This I paid $1 for. I found a Battlestar Galactica figure. And what the heck is this guy's name? Not Kroll or Kree. Kleck? I can't remember. If you guys remember, post it in the comments. But I actually thought he was like a Universal Studios monster figure. But he's really, really cool looking. It might be Clegg, I want to say. I don't know why. But he's like a bug-looking guy. He kind of looks like asparagus. But for $1, that's pretty neat. Also for like, I think probably the same price, probably another $1 or 50 cents. This is a VR Troopers figure, and this is a Tankatron. And he's like a robot that has a lot of guns that make him like a tank. That's why he's called that. That's funny. I always think nobody really collects VR Troopers. That's such a dead toy line that like nobody collects for. Like people collect Battle Rangers and stuff, but nobody collects VR Troopers. I mean, it wasn't that good of a show, but still, that's something that's really faded to obscurity to where it has no popularity anymore. I also found yet another. I have 3 of these guys. Superpowers Lex Luthor figure. And again, for like $1 or, I don't know, like no more than $1. But I was able to take him apart and fix his action function, where his arms move back and forth like that, where he was totally broken, and repaired the spring. So again, that's a video series I'm going to be doing soon, where I'll show you guys how you can fix some of your busted toys. So, you know, going from junk to something you could actually sell now. You know, he would actually fetch $6 or $7 in that condition. Also, I gotta find the other one, because that I got from RetroCon as well, but for $1 off my buddy Nazar, I got this is like a Diaclone knockoff Power Dasher of a Transformer that was a mail-away called Sky Dasher, and you would pull back his wheels and he would zip along, then you transform him like this, and he just, very simple transformation, transforms into a little robot. But what's crazy about him is actually, hang on one sec, I got the other guy over here. I forgot to get him out. I told you I forgot a bunch of stuff this month. This is the original. This is the original Sky Dasher. And so we'll put them next to each other so you guys can see, which is crazy that somebody did a knockoff of a mail-away, and I found these both within like a week of each other. So this is the knockoff, that's the original. And just to give you an example of how identical they look to each other, like there they are, both standing next to each other. So I was really surprised like somebody would knock off a mail-away figure to begin with. But really cool now that I have both of them. Also in the same vein of Transformers, I found another Zybot. He was only $1. Bright yellow dump truck, and he just has his basic robot transformation mode. Pull down the legs, pop out the arms, pop up the head, and you got Super Dump Truck Man. And then I think for 10 or 15 bucks, I bought off my buddy Dan. He's almost complete, just needs a few pieces here or there, which I actually found at the market that day. I finally got myself a Metroplex. He's a little rough, but, you know, I don't mind that he's a fixer-upper, I guess. And I was able to find his tank, although it's missing the cannon that goes in there. So he's about 50% complete. He's missing a fist, missing the guns, missing the kneecap accessories, and one of the tower buildings that go there. But overall, he's in pretty good shape. Transforms well, so that's cool. And let's see. I got this guy at RetroCon for only $10, which is a steal. Another Mad Ball to add to my collection. This guy's name is Arg. He looks like somebody hit him in the face with a bat. And bright blue, really cool figure. Or ball, sorry, toy, whatever. Very cool. This guy I paid, I believe, $7 for. I didn't know what he was, actually. This is from the Dungeons, I think this is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons figures. And he had his little goblin that he came with, but I didn't know they were part of a set, so I missed out on him. But he even has the little dagger on his side that glows in the dark, and the wings on the back, which actually come off. And I just thought he was really, really, really cool looking. Orange is like one of my favorite colors, so that's another reason why I picked them up too. And also, there's still a whole bunch I don't even have here. I got a bunch of Micro Machines, all for like 50 cents. The only one that I actually paid for, because I went back the next day, was this little monster truck Micro Machine, which is really cool. He's so much bigger than normal ones. And what's his name? He's called the Equalizer. But these were all at a thrift store, and they were in a bin just saying, fill up a bag, you know, and they were all for free. And I had some motorcycle ones. I don't even know where I put them at the moment. Got this little police car one. Hot rod and muscle car with the engine. I'm still missing 2 or 3, which I don't know where I put them at the moment. Like an old 60s or 70s style Jaguar. Or like a Bentley, I guess. I'm not sure what car that is. Another muscle car. I like that one because it's gold. That's pretty cool looking. Nice engine too. Little T-top convertible sports car. And a little 57 Chevy. Those are really cool. These I also paid $2 a piece for these. I almost have the whole set. These are actually worth quite a bit of money. I'm surprised at, because a lot of Wizard of Oz collectors really like these figures, and they're Wizard of Oz figures. I have 2 more already, so I only need like 2 more to complete the set. And we got Dorothy and the Scarecrow. These things go for about $8 to $10 online, because like Wizard of Oz collectors like to buy them, not just toy collectors. I also found, I think I paid like 50 cents for this guy. Found this little finger puppet dude, little crazy monster finger puppet. So I love those wacky designs. He's really cool. For $1, which was a really good find, I found a 60s Lesney Matchbox. This is a half truck. It's called the Unimog half truck. And anytime you see any of the Hot Wheels, or I'm sorry, the Matchbox cars, how you can tell and date them if they have the yellow hubcaps. That's how you can tell that they're from like the late 60s and not like early 70s and stuff like that. And it still has his hard plastic wheels, and even with the paint still coming off, that's still like, you know, a good $10 car. That's nice. I also found a red line, which I don't know where I put at the moment, so I'll put that in my next video once I come across it. Let's see. I also found this little guy. Paid $1 for him. Now this is a Tomy My Robot. And if you guys check my Twitter, you can see the before and after pictures after I fixed him up and cleaned him up and rewired him. And he wasn't really working that well. And what he does is he spins around in a circle, and then in a second or two, let's see, he'll move his head back and forth. There we go. Just a really cool little toy. So I was really glad that I picked him up. I have a thing for all these little robots from the 80s. I think they're really neat. Also picked up off my buddy Nazar for $1, one of the crash dummies. This is one of the, I have a bunch more, but this is the ones like you would put in your car. And I picked them up because I didn't remember their names being Bang, but there's one I think like Bing and Bang or Crash and Bang. And I said, that's crazy. So why is his name Bang? Like, it's so silly. And he's pretty cool, you know, for $1. So nothing too special there. And let's see, I think that almost does it with toys. Yeah, just got a few more things. Yeah, actually, I'm now into my runner-up finds of the month, and then we'll get into my find of the month. So, my couple of runner-up finds of the month this month is for $8. I found a Photon electronic target game, and the only thing this is missing, it has the instructions. It's missing the there's an ID tag that would go there, but the gun and everything's there. And this was like Entertech's answer to laser tag. And I actually had the figure, this guy right here on the front. I didn't know what he went to, but I had the figure because there's 2 action figures that you could get for the set, and they would also be able to shoot infrared beams at each other. So now I just need that guy. I have almost the whole set. And yeah, there we go. It actually shows the 2 figures on the back here. And this guy is the one that I have, the one in the red. And then there's the one with the 4 arms, and he's actually pretty hard to find. And the helmets and stuff, good God, good luck finding those. Those are like, you'll never see those. But this was pretty cool for $8, so really neat and unusual to find. Also is a really unusual find, definitely one of my favorites this month. For $6, I picked up a Fisher-Price Constructs set. And if you guys don't know what Constructs is, it's kind of like Kinex. And there are these plastic little building pieces. And let me open it up and show it to you. And here's the instructions of different things you can build with it. You could build all types of things like planes and ships and motorcycles and all kinds of things. You know, your imagination's the limit. And a funny thing, when I was out today, I actually found the little guy that goes to this because he wasn't in here. So I found that guy while I was out today doing some thrifting. That goes with the set. But yeah, this is what it looks like. And I had this when I was a kid. A set just like this. You had the wheels you can attach, and there's different sets. This is the normal set, the gray and the blue. But then you had other sets, which is kind of a hodgepodge of different sets. Like you had the space sets, where the thrusters would glow in the dark in the back, and they're purple and black. And just really neat. This is kind of like a plastic erector set or something like that, I guess you could kind of say. So there's that. And that will finally lead me to my find of the month. And holy Lord, what a find of the month it is. I paid only $1 for this, and what a dollar well spent. These are, let me just make sure I got them all in order. There we go. These are, at first look, they seem to just be regular TRON folders. And in a way they are. But what's really unusual about these is that this is official TRON merchandising marketing material from Disney. And this would have been given to stores and supermarkets. And it was in association with Scott Paper Towels and Tissue. And it shows on the back, there's a display stand-up you would have put in your store. They'd recommend what they would sell to people, like how many packs of paper towels or toilet paper they would sell. It had an entry form in here with a coupon that you could cut out and mail away. To where, let's see, you could win, what was it you could win? 4 grand prizes to go to Hollywood. You could win 100 in televisions, 1,000 story record albums, an official TRON movie poster, or you get a free t-shirt iron-on. We'll get to that in a second. And this is what the ad would have looked like. Which, how cool is this? It's saying, like, hey, this will be in your newspaper on May 23rd, 1982. And this is an actual picture of the circular that would have been in your local newspaper. But as if that wasn't enough, amazingly, and this is stuff probably from an old supermarket that just should have never seen the light of day again and found its way into my hands. Another folder, but with 15 official Tron shirt iron-ons. Never given away, never used. Somehow they avoided the landfill and the dumpster. I don't know how well you guys will be able to see them after all these years. But how amazing is that? Like, this is stuff that the regular public should have never seen. Like, an official flyer. This is stuff that managers and people in stores had that, gave away if you bought stuff. And, probably some old supermarket or a Bradley's or something closed down, and these have just been in a box for years and years and years. And I don't know what on earth the value on these is. I'm sure it's quite astronomical, since this is an absolute one-of-a-kind thing. You have stuff you're going to find. You're going to find your Megatron in box. You're going to find your carded, Ninja Turtles or whatever. But there's only one of these. Nobody is finding this. This is beyond a one-of-a-kind. It's something I'm amazed to have in my collection, and honestly probably belongs in some type of a toy museum, which I might think about donating, possibly. So that is absolutely my find of the month. Very cool for only $1. And on that note, that will wrap it up. That's going to do it for all my finds for flea markets and thrift stores for the month of October. So again, like I always say, guys, make sure to hit me up on Twitter, my Facebook, at the King of Retro page, and show me photos of everything that you're finding. Share your stories, comment down below, and let me know what you guys are finding out there. So, until then, hey, everybody, have a great Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, I won't have my toy video out this week because of the holiday, but I'll see you back here next month for my all my flea market and thrift store finds for November. So happy hunting, happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you later.
Hey guys, if you liked the video that you just watched, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, and you can follow me at Facebook at King of Retro or Twitter at #8ByteBrian. See you next time.